Hello everyone, it's Officer Brick here, and thanks for joining me. And in this video, we're going to be taking a look at all of my construction vehicles that I use in my city, and I'll be introducing you to my construction company, which also includes the minifigures that work alongside these vehicles and who operate them as well. Some of these vehicles are MOCs, and then some of them are just customized vehicles from actual sets, but either way, we'll look at each one individually, and I'll let you know if it was one that I made myself or if I just customized. So let's get into this. Alright, taking a look here, we have a transport truck, and I use this truck really just to transport the construction crew's equipment around. I mean, it's a great truck. This came from Lego City Set 60151, which was the dragster and transporter set. And it just made sense to use this because, I mean, you have this large trailer that's quite low to the ground, and it's already equipped with warning lights, which makes it great for transporting heavy equipment. And then you had this transport truck right here, which was a very modern design, very sleek looking. And the only thing I did to modify it was I added a light bar on the roof just to give it a look that it's part of a construction theme. And then for the trailer itself, I didn't do a lot of modification to the trailer itself other than add a couple of tail lights and this warning placard on the back. Sometimes you see when they're transporting heavy equipment or wide loads, they'll have a lot of warning markings on them. But I mean, this trailer is great. You can load up a lot of your construction equipment. So if I were to just take my my skid steer loader, I could, you know, load that up, park it right in the very back, and then you have enough room to add another vehicle. So I could always add the Steamroller, and then put the ramps up. And I mean, that works. You know, that makes sense to me. You can transport your equipment around town to town. Maybe not with the minifigures hanging out in the back of the trailer. That might be a little bit windy on the highway, but, well, you know, it's up to you. But I would say if you're going to do that safely, maybe not. But yeah, that just, to me, makes a lot of sense. So that's why I decided to keep this set and use it for my construction company. Okay, on to the next. Next we have the skid steer loader. This one here wasn't a Lego set. This was a MOC that I had made, and you know, it really does look like a skid loader. They make these in many different sizes. Some of them are quite small and narrow and could easily fit through a gate at a local residence. And then there's some that are almost the size of payloaders. They're quite massive. This one here is sort of meant to be an intermediate. It's a 6 wide build, although with the wheels it sort of makes it a little bit wider than 6. I am eventually thinking of changing these wheels, but I haven't found what I want to use yet. The only thing I've added since I had this on my channel was this sticker on the side. It's just an extra sticker I had. I figured I would add it on there. I think it looks pretty good. So there's a good look at it. Alright, so now we've got the Steamroller, and this is not one that Lego released. This is a MOC that I had made a little while ago. It's been sitting forever on my Lego Ideas page. I just recently decided to add it to my YouTube channel. I think that I got all the shapes just right on it, and I mean, there's a lot of different names you have for these steamrollers, soil compactors, pavers. It all depends what you're really using it for. But this one I'm quite happy with. You know, you've got the big single drum in the front. That's 3 Lego Technic hubs that I put together in order to make that, and it's just held on using Technic pieces. It's a very different design, but it also does somewhat have a realistic look to it. So yeah, I was happy to add this to my construction sets, mostly because one, I just couldn't find a steamroller that was the right size, and this one is just an intermediate size. It's not oversized and it's not too small. Lego's only released a handful of these, so now I've got my own, and I'm just quite happy with how it turned out. Now we have the Bulldozer, and I gotta say, this, without a shadow of a doubt, has to be one of my favorite sets that Lego has released. This set came out in 2015. This was set 60074, as you can sort of see on the side there. And honestly, there's nothing bad I could say about this, other than yeah, exactly, nothing bad I could say about this. I absolutely love this set. There's not a lot I did to modify it. I did, however, I did cover this Technic part with a tile just to get rid of some of those holes, and then right on the roof itself, I just kept one beacon light instead of having 2. I just thought that made it look a little bit better. I thought 2 beacon lights was a bit much, but I've always thought this was a phenomenal set. You know, the tracks work as they're supposed to. The large shovel has a lot of articulation. You can move it back and forward, and the detail work that's on the side, you know, where the engine is meant to be, that's just so well, it's just so well done. Even if I were to make a mock of a Bulldozer, there's no way I could ever top this. And for that reason, that's why this definitely deserves a place, not only in my construction company, but in my Lego collection. And I'm really, really happy with this one. The designer who designed this did a fantastic job, and I'm happy to have it. And now another very popular vehicle for construction jobs is the Backhoe and front end loader. Yeah, this was part of Lego City Set 60098. We just have to ignore the sticker here on the back, that's not accurate. And the overall design of that truck was very good, but there were certain exceptions, and one of them being that most backhoe loader tractors that I've seen, the back wheel is generally larger than the front one. They're not all the same size, and it's a smaller bucket used in the back versus having a bucket the same size as the front. So those were really the only changes that I ended up making to it. A couple of tail lights as well. The smaller bucket here in the back, though, this is made from the older style hinge. It came from the Lego System set, and it's just the right size, so it made sense to add that onto this truck. And as I said, you got the larger wheels on the back, which give it, I think, the right look. I never had this set. This is just something I ended up getting the parts together for and building. So it's not a MOC. It's still very much the set it was as far as I'm concerned, unless the definition of MOC has changed. I don't think it has. But you know what? What matters is that I like the look of it, and it works well for what I need. And yeah, I'm happy to have it in my city's construction company. Next, we'll take a look at the cement truck, and this truck is from set 60018. And again, this is another phenomenal build that LEGO had released. I didn't do a lot to modify this set. I've kept it mostly original, other than change the base of the light bar from white to gray. This is just a wonderful set. This spins here, and as we get to the back here, I did add some tiles though, just along here, just to get rid of some of the studs. And then right back here, we've got the cement chute, and that works well if you know, your cylinder is rotating, and what it can do is it can release some of the what it's meant to do is sort of release some of the 1x1 round plates, which are supposed to be, I guess, clumps of cement, and then you would just have your wheelbarrow waiting at the bottom. So I mean, this is just a really well done set. Another thing I added was on the side of the truck. I just added a small ladder, and that's about it. You know, I've kept it mostly original. It absolutely looks great, and definitely something you would need to have for a construction company. And here we have our payloader. This is a typical truck that you would find on most construction jobs. This actually started off as set 7630, which was the original front end loader. But then when LEGO released their demolition set, which was set 60076, I much preferred the look of the loader in that set. So I ended up just customizing this one to look just like that one. And with the exception of the large, I guess what's meant to sort of be a wheel well or mud guard, that's going to be a bit different. But other than that, it mostly looks like the front end loader from set 60076. And not a lot to say about it. It's a good truck, good articulation, large bucket. This is what you would expect to see on most construction sites. And finally, we have the MOC that I featured just recently on my channel, my dump truck. This is meant to be a heavy duty dump truck, and yeah, it's based on a North American dump truck. It's got the large front end on it, and even, you know, the back is a good size. I tried to get the shapes just right, and it's a functional truck. So I mean, if you have stuff to dump out of it, it just rises up, and this is just on a Technic hinge, so it opens up. And yeah, not a lot to say about this one. This video was featured just recently, so if you want to see a more in-depth review of it, again, go and check it out. It's one of my MOCs, and yeah, that's about it. So there's a good look at the truck. There's a few dump trucks that LEGO's released, but they all have a very European looking design to them. This one sort of has a more of a North American design, and like I said, it's meant for heavy duty jobs. Alright, so here's a look at the construction workers that I have for my city. And if you take a close look right in the center here with the white helmet, He's sort of meant to be the construction foreman. So he's the one who's he's given out all the tasks and monitoring all the workers as they're out there. And then, although most of them are just general construction workers, we do have a few specialists, like we have right on the end here. We have our welder, and then the cool guy with the sunglasses. He drives the cement truck. And just behind him, he's sort of meant to be the electrician. And then as we just sort of continue along here, we have Gail, who was the construction worker from that famous Lego movie. And then we have our carpenter here, who looks like he's working up a sweat. And the rest of these construction workers are just general labor. They all use the same, they all share the same uniform, more or less, which is orange. So I use orange for the construction company, but not to be confused with my public works department that also wears orange, but their orange uniforms are slightly different. You also got one guy sort of hiding in the back with the wheelbarrow. He's happy to be at work, so he's probably not liked very much. And then we just have a few more construction workers to showcase. These guys, maybe they're not quite construction workers. I use them more for, here we go, just get them in frame. These guys are, these figures are basically my heavy vehicle operators. So they'll drive the tractors and the backhoe and the payloaders, and they'll also drive the bulldozer. So they just sort of share that same uniform. I had some of these torsos from Lego System, and you know, I wanted to use them, and it sort of makes sense because they do have the you know, the big truck logo on the jackets, so it made sense to use them for that. So yeah, that's the construction company. That's all of them here together. Okay, so here is the entire construction company. So that's all the construction minifigures, all the vehicles and transport trucks, the heavy vehicle equipment operators, they're still in the cabs. So I hope you enjoyed having a look at all of this, and feel free to drop me a comment. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll be back soon with some more content. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you again soon.